Hey friends, hey family, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Crystal Blue. I do Christian content. I also do what's called the word of the day. I also have videos and shorts of me and my family having fun together. I also have inspirational shorts and quotes. And I also have running and fitness shorts. So if you like what you see and hear, don't forget to like and subscribe, but most of all, share. For those of you returning, happy Thursday. Hope everyone's doing well. We're almost there. So yay! Today is a very touchy subject. I'm excited and slightly nervous to talk about it because it affects me because of family members that I have. So we're going to be taking it back to the Old Testament in the book of Deuteronomy. And it's interesting that I came across it because I would just randomly read my Bible as I always do. And I was like, what? Like when I read the verse, all I said was, what? And I said, that's interesting that that came up during this time. But what it's speaking about in Deuteronomy 22 and 5, it states this: a woman must not wear men's clothing, nor a man wear woman's clothing, for the Lord your God detests anyone who does this. We're talking about laws and rules. And it's so interesting that something like that came up back then. Now, that can be taken many ways today. But for back then, in my mind, it goes to the roles. Women have a certain role. We are feminine, we are demure, we are to act as such. The men, they have that masculine role. They are the breadwinners, they are the head of the household. That's where my mind first went when reading this. I said, this makes sense back then. Basically, stay in your role. Men do your thing, women do your thing. But if you bring it and fast forward it to 2025, you could go into, you know where I'm going with this, cross dressing, LGBTQ community, things like that. And me and John were just talking about that this morning. And it's strange how everything just kind of fell into place. We were discussing that. And when you read the Bible and it talks about certain things that God doesn't appreciate, like homosexuality, we've already talked about that. We've discussed where it is in here. And now it's talking about men don't wear women's clothes, women don't wear men's clothes. For me, it's about know your role, know what you're supposed to do. You were born as a woman, you exude that feminine energy, you act as such. You were born a male, you exude that male energy, you act as such. That's how God planned it. You weren't a mistake. God made you a woman for a reason, and God made you a man for a reason. We're not to switch and change something just because we don't like who we are or because we don't feel like that's who we are. When it comes to that, I'm not saying that this is not a hate thing. What I'm saying is the people that feel in their minds that their gender isn't correct and they feel like they're supposed to be something else. Me personally, I feel like that's an attack from the enemy. That's attack from the enemy for sure. Because the enemy is trying to confuse you and make you think that what God has made you isn't good enough and you should be something else. That's what I really think it boils down to. And I'm not saying to go out and bash or hate anybody in the LGBTQ plus whatever XYZ. I'm not saying to go out there and bash or hate any of these people. And that is not what I'm saying here. So don't get it twisted. What I'm saying is we still need to love everyone like God commands us to, but do know that the people that are going through these things, they're being attacked by the enemy. And the enemy confuses people. And that's what the enemy is doing. The enemy is confusing these people, making them think that, no, you're supposed to be a man. No, you're not. God made you a woman for a reason. And the enemy loves to attack and confuse you and throw you off guard. And I think that people that are going through this, they not only need therapy, but they also need to seek guidance from the Lord because a lot of people that struggle with gender identity issues, they're really going through a lot. There's trauma there, there's all kinds of things there. And then you can put this into the whole, LGBTQ community as far as gays and lesbians. I'm not saying to hate on any of them either, love them, because I have family members who are lesbians. I have family members who are gay. gay couples that have married. They're my family and I love them dearly. But what I'm saying is there's an attack. There's an attack on the LGBTQ community from the enemy. And that's what it's all about. They're people just like us. They love, they hurt, they cry, they laugh just like we do. But they're being attacked by the enemy. The enemy is trying to confuse them and make them think that this is what they're supposed to do. And they're not. They're not. Um, Growing up, I was always taught to love any and everybody, and I still do. My cousins who are gay and my cousins that are lesbian, I love them dearly, love them to life. I'm not going to sit here on a pedestal and preach to them and say, you're going to hell. That's what I'm not going to do. I'm just going to love them and pray for them that the enemy stops attacking their mind and confusing them and stop telling them that there's something that they're not or they should be doing something that they're not. Because ultimately, that's what it is. It's an attack from the enemy. And we know that the enemy came here to steal, kill, lie, cheat, and confuse. That's what he does. And that's what he's doing to not only just the LGBTQ community, but just to everybody. He's trying to do that to everybody. He's trying to take down as many of us as he can. So, what we should do as brothers and sisters in Christ, if we see someone going through these gender identity issues or someone who is a part of that community, don't talk down to them. Don't, act like you're better than them. Just continue to love on them. Just continue to love on them and pray for them that that confusion gets taken away and they see who God truly made them and who they're supposed to be. And no, point out, and read the verses as you pray and say, God, let so and so know that they must not wear men's clothing if they're a woman. They must not wear women's clothing if they're a man. When you're praying and asking for God to help these family members or friends, recite, call it back to God, say, hey, God, in Deuteronomy 22:5, you say that, and that's what I do. I pretty much throw God's words back at him. You said that when I'm praying for something in particular. And God has a way of working things out in the strangest and craziest of ways. So this was definitely a touchy subject, but I wanted to point it out because, again, there are people that are struggling with this in today's time. But back then, God was just basically saying the laws is the woman, you know your place. You're supposed to exude that feminine energy and be that woman. The man, you're supposed to exude that male energy and be that man. Don't go interchanging and switching because that's not what I made y'all to be. And the joke we used to make, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, and one thing we used to say is God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. And that was a joke we used to make all the time growing up. But to be serious about it, women, we have a role. God placed us here to be that woman, to do what we're supposed to do. And God placed man here for him to do what he's supposed to do and exude that energy and that role as the man. Not supposed to switch. Stay in your lane. All right. Again, I'm not here bashing anyone. I'm not here hating anyone. I'm here to love on everyone and let y'all know that there is an attack going on. The enemy is trying to attack, and we need to get on our knees and stay in the word and pray because that's all that we can do. All right. I love you guys. I hope this blessed you. And Lord willing, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.